everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be all about the Beluga Whale Swim program at Seaworld San Diego as of 2024, going into quite a lot of detail of whether this tour is worth $229 and what was included. So I was really lucky that we visited on quite a quiet day in the park, and I was actually the only person to participate in the tour. They only do one tour a day and there's a maximum of, I believe, 8 people per tour. So you get your wetsuit, you get a towel that you get to keep, which is awesome, and you get your little shoes as well. And you get some time just to get ready and get prepared, and as much time as you want, to be honest. And the changing rooms and everything's really nice. You then get to meet the trainers, go a bit behind the scenes, and then enter the water. This water is freezing cold, by the way. I think it's 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And I got to meet Oliver, who is one of the beluga whales here at Seaworld San Diego. They currently have 3 beluga whales, and here is me with Oliver. The trainer that I worked with was super lovely and answered all of my questions and allowed me to do pretty much every signal and reward Oliver in every way. So I got to feed him pretty much a whole bucket of fish, which was awesome. During your interaction, the trainer will talk about the beluga whales the entire time. They are so knowledgeable about these animals, about where they live, about how they grow and how they change colours over time, which is awesome, their lifespan, their diet, how they hunt, as well as how they train the animals here at SeaWorld using positive reinforcement and other behavioural techniques. One of my highest priorities when I book an animal experience or go to a zoo is I look into kind of how they do these tours. And there are some tours, especially dolphin swims, which are, the dolphins are constantly doing swims all day. And what I loved about this beluga whale swim is that Oliver and his welfare and his care were at the priority of everything. It was all about making sure that he was happy and that he was getting quite an enriching session. Everything was quite slow paced, which was really nice. So you gently got into the water. You got to remember this is the animal's habitat. There are other trainers spotted around to give him that variety, and it was really nice to just know that he was happy, or at least believe he was happy. He's so eager to learn, he was so eager to come back, and being that close to the animal makes you realise how much the trainers love them and how eager and excited their whales are. Throughout my session, you obviously get like the iconic photo moments. The photo packages are so expensive. I believe there was like a big one which was like $100 odd, and then you can get one photo print for $35 and 2 for like $60 or something. And yeah, it was quite expensive. I got a kiss from a beluga whale, which was so awesome. And if you do ask politely and there was something that you wanted in mind for a photo, I'm sure the trainers will do it for you. I do wish in an ideal world that they actually had a videotape of it, because the photographer is quite up close to you. Now, I'm lucky that I do have a quite good camera which was able to capture this, but it would be amazing if SeaWorld you're watching this to video it, because a lot of people would pay a lot of money to get this captured on video. So yeah, you do get your photo session and stuff, but the rest of it is very laid back, and it's more about training Oliver and allowing him to try new things, and a bit of an exercise session for him. But yeah, he seemed really engaged in it, and the photos did come out so well, and I'll just add them right here. Now, obviously, the more people there are, the probably less photos you would get per person. And it's important to note that none of these like beluga or dolphin sessions are part of any photo package, so you do have to pay extra. You might get a slight discount, but it is extra to pay for that. I also was quite disappointed that SeaWorld San Diego did not allow you to get a digital version of your print. For me, digital is the way forward, and again, SeaWorld, if you're watching this, I would highly recommend for you to give the digital version of each photo. However, you can actually select them and get them through PhotoKey on the website, but they will just have a watermark on. As I mentioned before, the trainers are consistently talking about how they train for the animals and how they do lots of different behaviours with them, and one of the bits that they go into a lot of detail with was husbandry. So husbandry is basically the fancy word for healthcare with animals, and what was really cool is that they went into loads of detail about how they collect this information, how they care for them, and take blood samples, which is where the trainer showing me right now, is they actually get the blood samples from the tail. So getting to do this is not only really amazing and incredible opportunity, but it's really educational as well, in a complete different personalised perspective. I know quite a lot about beluga whales, and I think the trainer kind of understood that I knew the basics about whales, and she was able to go into a lot more specialised information and things that I had no idea about belugas and other whales and how they care for them at Seaworld, which was so special for me.
Going to be the beluga whales, but as well as the walruses, sea otters, and you'll get some underwater view in the beluga whale.
Is that the whale or Alana?
Now, what you just had there were beluga whale vocals. These guys are the most vocal animals ever, and it's not just when they are asked to do vocalizations that they're vocal in. Whenever Oliver came back and was really proud of himself, he done this little chirp, and it was just the cutest thing ever. Honestly, I think this might have been the cutest behaviour that Oliver done for me, and is where a trainer gave him a little fish and he swam with it all the way to me, and it was just the cutest thing ever. I was only in San Diego for the day as part of a cruise, so I booked about 3-4 months in advance, which is probably about the maximum time that you can book in advance. However, if you are a frequent visitor to SeaWorld San Diego, I'd highly recommend asking on the day, maybe about 3 or 4 hours before your tour, whether anyone else is participating. I strongly believe that it makes such a big difference with how many people are part of your tour. You will get an amazing experience if you do get more people, however, it's so much more personalised and you get to spend so much more time building a relationship with the animal and talking to the trainer about beluga whales. So in total, this session was about an hour and a half, probably with about half an hour in the water. So it was quite a good amount of time. I did start getting absolutely freezing at the end. My feet started to cramp up, but the adrenaline was getting me through and it was absolutely amazing. So would I recommend this tour at SeaWorld San Diego? Yes. If you are an animal lover, this is a once in a lifetime experience, and I highly doubt it's going to be around in 5-10 years time. However, if you are like flexible with when you go, I'd highly recommend going in the low season. I think it'd be a completely different experience if there were 8 people in your session, because that's a lot, especially with one whale, or potentially 2. I'm not sure quite how they work there, but being the only person to participate in this tour, or even with 1 or 2 other people, is so special. Getting this up close to such a massive and incredible and characteristic animal is absolutely incredible. So the beluga whale swim is also available at SeaWorld San Antonio in Texas and Georgia Aquarium over in Atlanta. So this is the only place in California that you can do it. I think it's probably one of the best places you can do it as well. The setting is so amazing, the trainers are so informative, and everything just had such a nice atmosphere to it as well. And having the Californian sun definitely helped with warming up after the swim. Once I got out the freezing cold water, I headed just to have a little look at behind the scenes and say hi to the other 2 beluga whales who were hanging out back there. And then I went to have a shower, again in your own time, there's no rush at all, before saying goodbye to the backstage of Wild Arctic. Thank you so much for watching my video on the beluga whale swim here at SeaWorld San Diego. It was absolutely incredible experience. I wouldn't change it for the world. I was so lucky that I was the only person to be doing it. However, honestly, I believe if anyone has the opportunity to go to SeaWorld San Diego and loves beluga whales, then definitely do it. It is such a once in a lifetime experience and a true big tick off the bucket list. Make sure to like, subscribe, and watch the rest of my videos. Bye!